Hello and welcome to the Indian Express News Analysis. So today's date is 14 December of 2018 and here we discuss all the important articles which are very much relevant from an exam point of view. So let's have a quick overview of all the articles that you have to discuss today. So as you see on the left side, the three articles is basically political in nature because recently there was state election and the commentary goes on here. So that is not so important from exam point of view. So we are not going to discuss this. Following with the next article is about the chief ethics officer. So as you understand right now in any of the IT companies we don't have this position, but as and when our technology is developing, this particular position will become very important. So we'll discuss this article in detail. Following which on the next page this article is related to CBI issue which is going on. Along with that, can the Lokpal be a solution to it, the Jan Lokpal? So that is something which we'll discuss here. And the next article is related to a personality. His name is Amrita Sen. So as you understand, he's a Nobel laureate. He got a Nobel Prize in 1998 and he is directly related to the field of economics. And what is discussed in this article is not so important. All this article is telling is the ideas of Amrita Sen has been criticized by a lot of politicians. So that is not so important from your exam point of view. All you need to know is the personality, the field which he belongs to, and the Nobel Prize and the year which he got it. Following this, let's start the discussion on the Chief Ethics Officer. So as you understand the technological development that is happening in various fields, we need to understand and curtail it based on the legalities of it and also how ethical it is. So this decision will be taken by this particular man who is known as the Chief Ethics Officer. And also you take an example of the right to privacy here or the cyber security. Somewhere if we can control or the technology within the company, we can actually stop the exploitation which is happening right now. And also one of the important feature which actually will be taken up by the chief ethics officer is to communicate the technology to the general public, because the general public does not understand the technological term which you use within your company. All they need is simple way of what your technology does. So in that case the public is also aware about the technological development that you're doing. And also take an example here in the biotechnological field, we are doing so much of gene editing, and somewhere this is affecting the natural process which goes on. So what the question we need to ask is this technological development ethical or not? Following with the next article is about the CBI issue. As you understand, the whole controversy started with the director and the special director within the CBI, wherein there was a tussle of power, which followed and then went on to the corruption charges against each other. And right now, this case is with Supreme Court under supervision of CVC, over which is supervised by the AK Patnaik, who is basically a Supreme Court judge here. So what we need to understand here is, can Lokpal be a solution? As you understand, in 2010, when the whole protest started by Anna Hazare, that the demand for Lokpal, but that Lokpal bill was actually created by the activist here, which wasn't that strong. But later on, the government started negotiation, and somewhere we understand the Jan Lokpal bill is quite different from the Lokpal that was actually given by the government. Because in the government's Lokpal, the people who are actually going to select are actually more from the government side, and when it comes to Jan Lokpal bill, they are more representative from the CVC and even from the Supreme Court judges, High Court judges. So somewhere there has to be say a truce between government and the activists who can actually develop a Lokpal which is very much strong. And basically the whole purpose of bringing a Lokpal is basically to make sure all the corruption activities under the under the control. And also what we need to understand here is the Lokpal will actually get the rights of inquiry and prosecution, which is right now with the CBI. And somehow we know even the Supreme Court saying that the CBI is right now a caged parrot. That means it works on the wills of the government who is actually having power in the center. So this is something which we need to address. And one more thing that we need to know is the special director and director is usually selected or nominated by such a Lokpal select committee, and within the state is called as Lokayukta. But what we need to understand here is people of only those say work history should be selected who are completely given a clean sheet when it comes to corruption. Only those people should be selected to this particular Lokpal select committee, and only then we can make sure that the people who are selected by this select committee will be of optimum quality. And the next article is related to EVMs here. As you understand, the recent state election that happened, most of the political parties, what they do is they basically accuse the EVM saying that it didn't work properly. But as you understand, the new chief election officer who has come up, his name is Sunil Arora, he's being answering a lot of questions related to the recent election that you can definitely read this article on the page 7. Following is the next article is related to Jammu Kashmir Resettlement Act. As you understand, after the independence, most of the people from Jammu Kashmir migrated to Pakistan, and the question being asked is, can they come back to India and say claiming resettlement after between the period of say 1949 to 54? Can they come back? So the question being asked is whether it is legal or not, whether it can be possible or not. So the Supreme Court is supposed to give a judgment on this, and you can directly relate it to the 35A article, wherein the property rights, say who gets the land rights in Jammu Kashmir region, you can directly connect that with 35A. Following is the next picture here is basically the meeting of Russian defense minister with the Indian counterpart. As you understand, Russia is basically an all over the friend of ours. We actually buy a lot of military equipments from Russia. And the next article is regarding the Mehul choski. As you understand, the PNB fraud which happened, wherein letter of undertaking was used to actually siphon a lot of money from various banks. So what we need to understand here is Mehul Choski was actually a partner with Nirav Modi, has got a red notice from the Interpol. And Interpol is basically the International Criminal Police Organization. So they have put him under the red notice. So he can also be extradited very soon, as Vijay Mallya is going to be extradited from UK. Following which, as we understand, the Russia-Chinese friendship here, there has been a lot of people-to-people contact, the fast trains which are being deployed from China to Russia. So somewhere their friendship is growing, and we need to understand here is, ever since the Cold War, their friendship has always grown. So this is very important when it comes to stability within the Asian region. So that's all for today, guys. I hope this video helped you a lot. If this helped you, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share it among your friends. Thank you and have a nice day. Jai Hind.